Right. So we, like I say, are going to look at some more complex working out and expressions today, but we're going to start with something fun just because I found it and I thought it was really cool. And I did it with one of my classes and they really enjoyed it. So I thought it was really cool. When we simplify expressions, you can really think of it however you want. I think of it in terms of how many terms are in my expression. So let's say, for example, I gave you 2 plus 7 times 2 minus 4. We know that terms are separated by plus and minus signs. And so in this expression, I have got 3 terms that I'm working with. The reason I like to think of that is because now I can look at each term individually and say, okay, is there anything that I can do to simplify this term? Well, the 2 is 2, can't do anything. But I can see in my second term, I've got a multiplication. And so I know that I'm going to start with multiplication. Another way that you can think of dealing with the order of your work is either through bedmas. I prefer bedmas if I was going to use one of these. Let's maybe make that look like more of a D. Or you can use bodmas, doesn't really matter. Reason I like bedmas is because the E reminds me that I need to deal with exponents. And as you can see here in my purple block, exponents is our next section that we'll be dealing with. So we will eventually need to start thinking about our exponents. Alrighty. So we need to make sure that we are doing our work in the correct order, that our order of work is correct. Okay, but let's start with something nice and fun before we get into all of that sort of stuff. So what you'll see here is like a mathematical crossword. Luckily for you guys, it's easy enough to eventually take a screenshot, but basically what we want to do here is we want to fill in all of the blank blocks here to make each of those equations true. So for example, if I start with 1 across, all the acrosses are in blue, all of the downs are in red, I'm asking myself 12 plus what gives me 36? And so if I now go and solve for that, I know it's 12 plus 24. So this is what we, this is what we want to do for our crossword. So I want you guys to take a look, take a second, think about it. And then if you want to raise your hand to give me some of the missing values, you can. You can start anywhere you want. You don't have to start with 1 down. You can go to 5 down. You can go to 4 across, whatever you want. So if and when you're ready to try, raise your hand for me and I will take some answers. But have a look, take a second. Okay, I'm going to do my absolute best to get to everyone today. If I don't get to you when we're doing this crossword, I will hopefully get to you when we do the other examples. All right. Okay, Palesa, do you want to start us off?
Yes, hello, ma'am. So for 236 divided by 4 is 9.
Excellent. So Palesa's done 2 down for us. 36 divided by 4. Very nice. Thank you so much, Palesa. So many people. Riabetu, do you want to give us another one?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to give you 24 divided by 4 is equals to 6.
Perfect. So Riabetu is giving us 1 down. 24 divided by 4 gives us 6. Very nice. Okay. Jonse, do you want to give us another one?
Ma'am, I'll go for 3 down.
3 down. Okay. But we don't have enough information for 3 down.
Okay, ma'am.
Oh, no, try 3 across. So this one here.
Ma'am, the answer for 3 cross is 45, ma'am.
Excellent. Well done. Which now helps us to do 3 down. So do you want to try the 3 down you wanted to do, Jonse?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what's my missing one at the top?
Ma'am, it's 22, ma'am.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, so the reason I sort of picked on Jonse to do 2 there because I wanted you to see, and I'm going to sneeze, so give me a second. No, apparently I'm not going to sneeze. So the reason I picked on concept to do 2 there is just for you to see that sometimes you might need to do another one first in order to get an answer somewhere else. Okay, that's the point of our crossword here. Emmanuel, do you want to give me another one?
Yes, ma'am. 5 going down, ma'am.
5 down, right?
55.
Excellent. 55 divided by 5 gives me 11. Very nice. Okay, I hope I say your, hope I say your name correctly. Siamo, I hope that's right. If it's not, please correct me. Do you want to give us another one or give me another one?
Hi, ma'am. For 8 down, I would say 39.
Excellent. 8 down, 3 times 13, 39. Very, very nice. Tammy, do you want to give us another one?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Okay, ma'am. So 4 across is 9.
I'm panicking. I numbered this. Why can't I? Oh, there we go. 4 across. Thank you. 20 minus 9 is 11. Very nice. Okay. Lindoa, do you want to give us another one?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
For 2 across, I got 8.
Excellent. 2 across. 8 minus 4 gives us 4. Very nicely done. Theo, do you want to give us another one?
Yes, ma'am. 7 down. I got 7, ma'am.
Good. 63. Oh, yes, my brain. 9 times 7 gives us 63. Very nice. Manentle, another one.
6 across.
Yes, 6 across down here at the bottom.
Equals 24.
Perfect. 24. 63 minus 24 gives us 39. Very nice. Guys, you're on a roll tonight. Sorry, everyone. Bokang, do you want to give us another one?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, 5 across is 12.
Perfect. 84 divided by 12 gives me 7. Very nice. Asasipo, oh golly, did I unmute you? There we go. Asasipo, do you want to give us another one? There should be a pop-up to unmute yourself. You need to click unmute on your side. Okay, I'm gonna try someone else. Oh, there we go.
9. Is this grade 9?
Yes. This is grade 9.
We are not in this stage.
What do you mean, Asipo?
I mean, we are in.
Okay, guys, I'm not too sure what's happening. Asasipo, just type your question or whatever's wrong on the chat and we'll try help you, okay? Tato, do you want to give us another one?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to go for 6. Yeah, 6 down.
Perfect.
The answer is 32.
Excellent. Well done. 20 plus 12. That's what we're looking to. 32. Very nice, Tato. Righto. Alusa, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Do you want to give us the last one? 4 down. Okay, I'm going to try someone. Oh, no, are you unmuted?
Okay, 8 times 7 equals to 56.
Excellent, well done. So our last one, 4 down, 8 times 7. Very nice, guys, well done. So we filled in our crossword, maths crossword, whatever you want to call it. We practiced our operations, and now we're going to do slightly more complex ones. All right, if you want to take a screenshot, I'll leave it up there for you for a couple seconds, and then I'm going to scroll down to our questions. Everyone with raised hands, you can leave it up if you still have a question. Otherwise, please lower it. Like I say, there are going to be more chances for you to answer questions as we go along. So I will do my best to give everyone a chance. Okay. Well, Asasipo, your hand is still up. So do you have a question, or are you sorted?
Yes,
Yes. What's up?
I can't understand this.
Understand what?
This bedmas exponent.
Okay. So we did bodmas in our last lesson. So I would suggest you go and get the recording and watch the recording and give it a try. But we're going to practice it now. Okay. So hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense once we practice it. Okay, guys, so let's practice here. I'm skipping the brain break because it's a little bit early for that. We will come back to the brain break. Do not stress. So we're going to try. Someone isn't on mute. Can we all just make sure we're on mute before I carry on? Okay, right. Just make sure you're on mute, guys. Okay. Before I do this, Koketso, do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. The question here, are we supposed to break it down or give a straight answer?
Okay, so we're going to break it down to start off with. Obviously, as you become more comfortable, giving a straight answer is fine, but I am going to break it down to start off with, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Cool. Right, so guys, I'm going to do this first one with you just so that you can see, as Asasipo was asking, in terms of understanding bodmas or bedmas, whatever you want. I'm going to do this first one with you so that hopefully we all are on the same page. So I'm just going to write this here for us. Either you're working with bodmas or you're working with bedmas. It really doesn't matter. Like I say, I prefer bedmas, but completely up to you. As long as you're doing your work in the correct order, I honestly don't mind. Okay, so when we are looking at a sum like this, we need to, like I say, make sure that we're doing this in the correct order. So according to bodmas or bedmas, the first thing that we need to do is brackets. Now we've only got one set of brackets here, and inside my brackets, I have a -5. There's nothing else going on there. So yes, we start with the brackets, but when we say brackets, we mean simplify what is inside the brackets. I can't simplify -5 any further. So I'm going to leave that. The next thing I need to do is deal with multiplication. Now, what might be quite useful is to grab a highlighter and identify or highlight where your multiplication is. So there's my multiplication. In order for me to know what numbers to multiply, I highlight the number on the right and the number on the left. And what I've highlighted is what I start with, which means that I'm going to leave the 24 plus for now. I'll come back to it, but I'm going to leave it for now. And so now I'm going to do this multiplication. So if we go over here, we've got 7 times -5. And remember, our little trick to do multiplication correctly is SNV, signs, numbers, and when we eventually get to algebra, to deal with your variables. So if you do your signs first, then your numbers, then your variables, you will be able to multiply or divide 100%. So if we start with our S, we've got a +7 times a -5. We know that when we say positive times negative, we are going to have a negative sign. So that's a negative. Then I move on to my numbers. 7 times 5, 35. And so I have multiplied what I've highlighted in green. So I've got a negative 35. I'm starting to simplify. Now I need to go and see what is going on here with this double sign situation. Now, guys, remember I've spoken about the fact that technically there is a 1 in front of the bracket. I just don't have to write it there. But essentially what it is saying is that what I actually have is a positive 1 times the negative 35. And so again, we need to remember our rule that a positive times a negative is a negative. So when we have a situation of a plus and then the bracket and the minus and then close bracket, the sign that we're dealing with here is negative. So actually what I have here is 24 minus 35 because that plus minus becomes a minus. And now I can go and do my subtraction. 24 minus 35. Now you can use a number line for this, your calculator, whatever you want, but you end up with a final answer of negative 11. So very, very important. We start with any division. Oh, actually, no, let's not do that. We start with our brackets. We move on to any division of multiplication and then onto our addition and subtraction. That is the order in which we need to be doing our work. If we do it in the correct order, we will get the correct answer. Right, and I saw quite a few negative 11s coming through there on the chat. So very, very nice. Well done for trying. And I saw some of you doing your multiplication of the 7 and the negative 5, which again, very nice. I'm going to leave it here in case you want to take a screenshot. And then we'll move on to the next one. Oh, excuse me, everyone. That was absolute chaos. Last couple seconds. Right, I've just got a question of how do I get, or how did I get 1? So this 1 to which we're referring is this 1 over here. You don't have to think of it as a 1, but I like to remember that in front of any bracket, there is actually a number. If there's no number written, we know that the number is 1. And it just reminds me that what I'm actually doing is multiplication, so that I remember my multiplication rules. At the end of the day, as long as you remember that when you've got a plus and a minus next to each other, you're actually working with a minus. You can think of it however you want, all right? But the plus 1 came from the fact that in front of any bracket, I do actually have a coefficient of 1. It's a ghost 1, or it's a 1 that we don't have to write, but it is there. And it reminds me that I am actually multiplying positive 1 with my bracket. Right, I'm moving on to the next one. Let's have a look at B. So I'm going to sort of explain a little bit, and then I'm going to ask you to try. So guys, remember again, bodmas. We want to start with any brackets. I have no brackets in the sum, so I move on. I see if I've got division or multiplication. Now in this question, I actually have both. So I identify where my division is, and then I highlight the numbers on either side. That then means that I know that I have to divide negative 28 by 7. That is the division I need to do. I also see that I have a multiplication. There's my, I think this purple is going to be a bit dark. There's my multiplication. I'll highlight the number on either side. Now you can highlight the negative with it if you want. You don't have to. But now I know what my multiplication step should be. And so the division and the multiplication must happen first. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to give it a try. If you get the answer, you can put in the chat, or you're welcome to raise your hand, and then we'll go through it. But give it a go. Remember the order of work. I've told you where to start. And then we can check our answer. Just to answer the question in terms of is of a sign, is an of sign. I think you're asking is of a sign. That's why I don't like bodmas, because the of is a bit random. I prefer bedmas because we actually have something that E represents. It represents exponents. Okay, Emmanuel, do you want to walk us through this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So, ma'am, bodmas or bedmas, ma'am. D stands for division, ma'am. So it's first.
Okay.
And I said negative 28 divided by 7 gave me negative 4. And
Okay.
multiplication is right after division. So I said negative 6 times 3, which gave me negative 8,
8.
plus 14. And it gave me an answer of 2.
Okay, so just double check. Negative 6 times 3 is negative 18.
No, 8.
Double check what negative 6 times 3 is on your calculator.
Oh, it is negative 18.
It is
Sorry.
negative 18. That's all right. So what is our final answer here, actually?
Negative 8.
Excellent. Well done. We get
My bad.
negative 8. No, it's absolutely fine. I just want to point out something that Emmanuel said there. We have division and multiplication. Now, division and multiplication actually have the same level of importance. Have the same level of importance. What that means is that whether you start with division or whether you start with multiplication, it doesn't actually matter. They're both on an equal level of importance. They're both on equal standing. If you did the multiplication first, that's fine. If you did the division first, that's fine, but they're equal. It's the same thing for addition and subtraction. They're on an equal level. So whether you do addition first or whether you do subtraction first, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is that the multiplication and division must happen first, and then only afterwards the addition and subtraction, which is what we did here. We did the multiplication and division first, and then only did we say -4 minus 18 plus 14. Only after that did we do the addition and subtraction. Right, so I'm going to leave it there in case you want to English screenshot. Asasipo, do you have a question? No, okay.
Can you repeat it?
Right, and Koketo, I did see in the chat you wanted to do C. When we eventually get to C, I will just remember to raise your hand. Who is talking?
Can you repeat?
What do you want me to repeat, Asasipo? Okay. Bokang, do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I don't understand because like addition comes before subtraction. So when you say negative 18 plus 14, it gives you negative 4. And when you subtract negative, oh, okay, sorry, ma'am, I got it now. It's okay.
Okay. So what did you just get?
Ma'am, I got that you don't really add the negative. Ma'am, I don't really know how to explain it, but then
you got the same answer. You got the right answer.
Yes, ma'am. Now I understand why you said okay, why it's negative 8.
Okay, good. Okay, so guys, just what Bokang was saying there, like the statements I made is that it doesn't matter if you add or subtract first. So for example, if you did this part first, negative 18 plus 14, that gives you negative 4. So then you would have -4 minus 4, which gives you negative 8. If you did the subtraction first, -4 minus 18 is negative 22. Negative 22 plus 14 gives you -8. So it doesn't matter what order you choose to do it in, you're going to get the right answer. But importantly, that addition and subtraction must happen right at the end. Okay. I'm just waiting for everyone to screenshot, and then we are already halfway. So we've got time for a brain break. Hoping we've all got our screenshots. I'm moving 3, 2, 1. Great. Right, so here's our brain break for the day. Oh, golly, Miss Molly. You've got your joke, which you can enjoy, but our brain break today is I want you to figure out what the triangle, the circle, the square, and the diamond's values are from the clues that I've given you here on the left, so that you can go and work out the expressions on the right. So have a look, think carefully about it. You don't have to do the clues in order 1, 2, 3, 4. You could go 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, whatever. You don't have to do it in that order, but use the clues. I did promise a football joke. Okay, I'll do better. I'm going to write it down so that I remember for Thursday. Fortunately, if I don't write things down, I just forget. Football joke, grade 9s. I will remember. Okay, guys, have a look at this brain break. I want some answers coming through. You can raise your hand, you can put in the chat, whatever floats your boat. Ketzel, do you have anything for us? Okay, Nsako, do you have one for us? Oh, sorry, Ketzel, you've now unmuted. Do you want to try? Okay, Ketzel, there seems to be a bit of a problem with your audio, so you might just need to log out and log back in again. Okay, so Ketzel, log out and log back in, okay?
There's some triangle plus square plus.
I think it's a network issue.
Yeah.
Like bandwidth.
Okay, so we'll try fix that, but you might just need to try log out and log back in again, okay? So who had I picked on? Nsako, do you want to try one for us?
Yes, ma'am. So I think I'm not sure though. Number 1 is 24.
Which number 1 are you talking about? Over
Wait,
here?
wait.
On the left or on the right?
On the left.
Okay, so remember, we want to know what 2 same numbers do I add together in order to get 6?
Okay. Okay.
So what are
Let me
those
try
2
again.
numbers? Okay, what are the 2 numbers I add together to get 6? They have to be exactly the same number.
3. It's
Excellent. 3. Excellent. Well done. So guys, Nsako's sort of pointed out for us what we need to be doing here. We want to figure out what the triangle, the square, the circle, and the diamond are so that we get the correct answer there. Very nice, Nsako. So now, guys, we know that all of our triangles are 3. Okay, Siamtanda, do you want to give us another one? You don't have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do any order you want.
Okay, well, from my point of view, I see that since the triangles are 3, then the circles could be 1.
Excellent.
Which
so
could help us with number 2, since we don't know the square and there's 1 and the answer is 8, then the square must be 7.
Good, well done. So guys, what Siamtanda's sort of again shown us, like we saw with the crossword, sometimes you have to skip to another point in order to get to the answer, which is fine. So we went straight to the third one in order to get the circle. We then knew that the circles were 1. And from there, we could go and work out what the square was in the second clue that we were given. Right, thank you, Simsanda. Leah, do you want to give us what the diamond is?
Ma'am, I think the diamond is a 3.
Okay, perfect. The diamond is also a 3 because 7 plus 3 is 10. So the diamond and the triangle have the same value. And now that we know all of this, we can go and work out the value of our equation. So I'm just going to number them so that we know which ones we're talking about. So Leto, do you want to give us the value or the answer for the first one?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
The value of the first one is 13.
Perfect. 3 plus 7 is 10, plus 3, 13. Excellent. Well done. Masikwa, do you want to give us the, where are we? Second one.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, the value of the second one is 11.
Fantastic. So again, guys, remember we spoke about the fact that the order in which you add things, as long as everything's been added, doesn't matter. So I would have said 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 1, 11. But it really doesn't matter as long as you get to the answer. All right. Okutle, do you want to give us a third one?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Oh, ma'am, the third one is 17.
Excellent. So again, I would start with 7 plus 3, 10 plus 7, 17. But you do it how you're comfortable doing it. Okay, guys? Right. Rabile, do you want to give us the last one? I don't know who have unmuted now. This is absolute panic. Rabile, did I unmute you? No, I didn't. You want to try? Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Avril, do you want to try the last one?
It is 18.
Okay, so 3 plus 7 is 10. 10 plus 3 plus 1 is 14. Do you agree? Okay, very nice, guys. Well done. Again, I know there's lots of hands. We're going to do some more questions now. So don't stress. Hopefully a chance for you to try and answer. Please, can I remind all of you to be on mute? There's someone not on mute and it's causing some background noise. Alrighty, so that is our brain break. Very nicely done. We're going to move on and we're going to try some more questions here. So we did A and we did B. What I'll do is I'll just stop there in case some of you did not get a screenshot, just so that you can quickly screenshot it. And then we're going to have a look at question C. And I know someone asked to do question C, but now I've completely forgotten who it was. I want to say it was Kuketso, but I can't remember. But when we get to question C, we'll hopefully get someone. Right, you should all have your screenshot. I'm going to move down to C. I'm just going to make it bigger as well. Okay, so C, we've got quite a bit going on here. So we just need to be careful, take our time, do this slowly so that we're not getting anything wrong here. All right. So if we have a look at question C, we've got a fraction. And before I carry on, there are still quite a few hands. Theo, Esther, Atlachang, Molisa, and Tato, they are still hands up. So leave it up if you've got a question, but if you don't, please lower it. Okay, cool. Right, so if we now look here I'm going to give you a little hint. My advice is try and simplify your numerator. So try and deal with everything that's going on in the top first, according to, sorry, I don't know why it went small, according to your order of work or according to bodmas, and then deal with everything in your denominator. Only then will we try and then do the division, but try and simplify what you're working with so that it's a little bit easier for you. So it was indeed Koketso who wanted to do C, but I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes just to give it a try before we do an answer, and then we'll do an answer in, let's say, a minute or two. But my hint, simplify your numerator. So do bodmas in your numerator, and then deal with it in your denominator, and then only do the division. Obviously, as you're going along, you're welcome to put answers or questions in the chat. In response to Kanya's question, yes, brackets mean you multiply. So for example, here, I think I might still be on a highlighter. One. So for example, here, this is actually saying -3 times -2. And because there's a bracket there with no sign, it's saying times -3 in front as well. So those brackets are indeed multiplication. Seeing some awesome answers coming through. I'm going to give everyone another minute, and then Koketso, I'm going to ask you to talk us through it. Remember to be careful with your signs. So when you're doing that multiplication, remember your SNV to make sure that you multiply and even divide correctly. Okay, Koketso, do you want to explain this one to us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm ready.
So at the top, we have 5 subtract 3, bracket, -3, bracket, and open bracket, -2, close bracket.
Okay.
So the answer is going to be 13.
Sorry, the answer is going to be?
13, -13.
Okay, cool. So just to break that down for everyone, if we start with the multiplication, negative times a negative is a positive. So if I do, these first two first, I get a +9, but then I still have to times that by the -2. And so a positive times a negative is a negative. Is a negative. And then I've got 9 times 2, which is 18. Right, and then Koketso's getting the 13 because remember, I've really made some weird choices here. I'm very sorry. Koketso's getting the 13 because in the from the numerator, I had my pen working so well, and now I've just absolutely caused chaos for myself. Because a negative, Koketso, am I just losing my mind? Yes, I'm losing my mind. Am I losing my mind? Yes,
I don't think so.
No, I am losing my mind. I've just lost all sense of what I'm doing in my life. Okay. Right. So Koketso can explain, I can't write. So let me try this again. If we do the multiplication, -3 times -3, +9. +9 times -2, -18. And then we still have the 5 in front. So as Koketso said, 5 minus 18 is -13. Okay, I can do maths. We got there in the end. Right, okay, so carry on.
Okay, I don't really know, but at the bottom, I think it's a denominator. Okay, never mind. English just
Denominator.
lost me. So
Yeah,
4.
my English also losing me. Don't you stress.
So 4 subtract open brackets -6 close bracket, it'll be equals to 10.
Exactly. So guys, remember that negative situation actually becomes plus. So we end up with 4 plus 6, which exactly is 10. Okay, so what do we have?
So then it is going to be -3 over 10.
Good. So negative 13 over 10. Now, guys, personally, I prefer leaving it as negative 13 over 10. That's my preference. Some of you would want to write it as a mixed number. So -1 and 3/10. And some of you might want to write it as a decimal, which is -1,3. All of those are absolutely fine. Like I say, I prefer the improper fraction, but that is my personal preference. Any of those 3 formats of your answer is 100% correct. Right, so Kuketso is going to in future teach when I just am losing my marbles a little bit, because that's what happened there. Thank you, Kuketso. Very nicely explained. And I saw lots of -1,3s, -13s over 10s, all of those in the chat. So very, very nicely done, guys. Sandra, do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm a little bit confused as to how you got 18.
That's fair, because I was confused too. So let's break this down for ourselves. I'm going to do it over here in the red. Okay. So we have got 5 minus 3 times -3 times minus, and let me just move this over for a second, 2. Okay. Now, Sasandra, do you agree with me? Yes. That what we need to do first is all this multiplication going on here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. So you can do it in 2 ways. Kuketsu chose to include the negative with this 3. You don't have to. So maybe this will be a little bit easier. I'm going to leave the 5 minus, and I'm now going to multiply the 3 and the 3. So 3 times -3. Now we know that a +3 times a -3 gives me a negative answer, and 3 times 3 is 9. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. What I still now need to do is I still need to take that -9 and times it by a -2. So what sign do I get when I times a negative and a negative?
You get a positive.
Perfect. And what's 9 times 2?
It's 18.
Right. And so there I get my 18. Now, because I've got the negative in front of the bracket, what I actually end up with is 5 minus 18. So that's where I get that -18 from.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Well done. I feel like someone's having a birthday outside and it's very loud. Emmanuel, question?
No, ma'am. It's okay, ma'am.
Sure. Okay. Asisipo, question? Okay. Boipelo, do you have a question?
Yes, -14.
Boipelo?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah?
Regarding the -3 that you multiplied with the -3 in the bracket,
Yes.
did you use the distributive property?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Fine. That's fine. Cool. Okay, Asisipo, I did hear that you'd unmuted, so try again. Asisipo, you need to unmute yourself. There we go. What's your question? Asisipo, what is your question?
Oh, sorry, teacher. I can't understand this.
Okay, I need you to ask me a specific question so I can help you somewhere.
Oh yeah, we are in topic whole numbers and integers, isn't?
Yeah.
Can you please repeat it again? And
okay, so what I would suggest you do is you go and watch the video on this tomorrow so that you can pause it and you can take your time through it so that you can understand what's going on here. Okay, so get the recording tomorrow and have a look through it. Right, Tato, question?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask that we can use both bodmas and bedmas, right?
Yeah, you can. That's absolutely fine.
Thank you.
Sure. Susanda and Emmanuel, I still see that your hands are up. So if you still have a question, obviously you're welcome to leave your hand up. But if you don't, I would ask that you lower it. Emmanuel, still have a question, or do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. I remembered my question, ma'am. Ma'am,
Okay.
I did it different. Ma'am, I did it differently, ma'am. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get the same amount of marks, ma'am. But what I said is, ma'am, the denominators, ma'am, 4 minus 6 bracket -6, ma'am. I got 10, ma'am, as my answer. So what I did is I said 5 divided by 10 gave me a half, ma'am. And I moved on to -3 times -3 times -2 gave me -18, ma'am. And I divided it by 10, giving me -9 over 5, ma'am. And what I did is I said, ma'am, I found the lowest common multiple between the two fractions, and I got 10, ma'am. So I got 5 over 10 minus 18 over 10, which gave me the answer -13 over 10, ma'am. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely fine. Wouldn't have thought to do it like that, Emmanuel, but we know you like to push the boundaries. Absolutely fine. As long as you are dividing both the 5 and then the -3 times -3 times -2, both of them must be divided by half, like you did, by half, by 10. Perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Well done. Alrighty. So, guys, what's really important is that you follow that order of work. Now, I know this stuff isn't necessarily the easiest thing in the world, but it is important. And so, oh gosh, what I suggest you do is that you go, like I was suggesting, you go and you re-watch the recording tomorrow when it's uploaded. That way you can also pause it, you can take notes, you can go at your own pace to make sure that you are 100% fine with this. I think what we will do is we'll practice a little bit of more of these on Thursday before we carry on with some fractions. We're not going to do a whole lot of complicated stuff with fractions. So I think if we do 1 or 2 more of these on Thursday, just to get a little bit more practice in so that we feel comfortable.